Yo, what is up, everybody? It is Ghostface Paris back here with the Loving Social Media YouTube channel, and I'm here. I realized I don't have an intro. I've been doing this for a little while now, and I don't have a definitive, iconic intro. So for the next video, I'm gonna have an intro because that just came to me right now. That's kind of funny. But going past that. This segment that I like to do, where I talk about things that interest me in the marketing world, I want to talk about how important good strategic marketing is, and how impractical flash in the pan marketing is, as I would say, or in other terms, shock value marketing is, right? So, if anyone is unaware, there was a very big, not scandal, but story on a recent marketing campaign that had social media in a frenzy, and I found it so interesting, right? And it was Solo, a company called Solo, having Snoop Dogg for a marketing campaign to sell their smokeless fire pits. Now, here's a little bit backstory on this. So in November, mid to late November 2023, Snoop Dogg went on to social media, Twitter. He said, I'm done smoking. Now, if you don't know who Snoop Dogg is, in the 90s, he was a very super mega star in the hip hop industry. He had one of the most iconic albums ever, Snoop Doggy Dogg style. He was everywhere in the 90s, an LA native. He really did wonders for the West Coast sound. And since then, he's just transformed to a, massive, multiverse internet personality of sorts, media personality of sorts. So it's not very uncommon to see him in indie movies, or a bunch of various different marketing campaigns and adverts and commercials and billboards, and he's all over America, especially over in California, Los Angeles, as his native hometown. He's just very much everywhere now, which is the common trend with a lot of superstars that was in the 90s, early 2000s. They transform out of hip-hop because, there isn't really a lot of money in hip-hop because... Anyway, that's a different conversation, different conversation for a different day. But that's a quick backstory on Snoop Dogg. Now, one of the things that really cements Snoop Dogg's brand, identity, and true persona is that he is a huge, avid smoker. I don't think I can name many celebrities that can outsmoke Snoop Dogg, or is known more for smoking than Snoop Dogg. Maybe you have your Wiz Khalifas, but Snoop Dogg really and truly is known for his physique, his look, his uncle look, and then he smokes an overabundant amount of weed. Now, why is this important? When you are someone like Snoop Dogg, and where a majority of your identity and a majority of your characteristics come from you smoking, if you put out a tweet, if you put out a copy, a tag that says "I'm done smoking," naturally it's gonna garner so much attention, which is what happened. It garnered so much attention. Snoop Dogg is done smoking. Why is he done smoking? Now, of course, a lot of us in the marketing world, and a lot of us within marketing sense, thought, okay, this is for something bigger. He isn't just gonna tweet this out randomly. What's really behind the curtain? Why is he really saying this? And it was later revealed that a commercial dropped by a company called Solo. As I mentioned, this company is one that sells fire pits, just fire pits that you would fireless stove pits, essentially, right? And they got Snoop Dogg. It isn't really confirmed how much they paid him for this, but they got Snoop Dogg for this campaign, for this commercial, right? And Snoop Dogg began it by saying, "I'm done smoking. I'm done with it. I'm tired of it, smelling up my clothes. I'm tired of it attacking my lungs." And then as the shot was pulling out, it showcased this smokeless fire stove. And he said, "That's why I'm going with Smokeless Fire Stoves by Solo." It was 30 seconds. Now, I'll call a spade a spade. The campaign and the ad was trash. It was very low budget, very boring, and it was just like a slapdash of someone going, "You know what would be good? If you got Snoop Dogg on this." And that was like, I wish I was in that boardroom meeting where they was conjuring up that idea and who really gave that the green light. That had to go through so many checkpoints and so many stages of, being green lit. Not one person thought this doesn't have anything to do with us. And the outcome of that is that while this really boosted brand awareness for Solo, because it worked on me, because I didn't even know who these people were beforehand. So now they have a new viewer in people like me, but I'm never going to buy a fireless stove. Hardly anyone is going to buy a fireless stove. This is what happens when non-marketers create an ad campaign and they don't know their audience. They don't know who this was targeted for. Who was this for? Because the majority of your consumers that will see this, or potential consumers, are just going to be the average viewer that have no desire to buy a smokeless fire stove. And the result of this is that the CEO in Gone Maris, he was let go. He was replaced. And he was replaced by a man by the name of Chris Metz. So not only did this ad campaign only boost brand awareness, which is good, I guess, but now you've lost the money. You've lost the money, and it says that the adjusted EBITDA margin is expected to be in the range of 14% to 15% compared to the previous guidance of 17 to 18%. So, essentially, they lost quite a few millions of dollars due to them believing that just because we put Snoop Dogg into this ad campaign, it will be expected to increase on sales. That's not what happened. And the point of me talking about this and why this is so intriguing is because it's very important to, 1, know your consumer base, 2, know your avatar, and 3, know how to effectively allocate your ad spend and your campaign budget. If you just simply identify your brand as a fireless stove pit, then you need to market that for those that will actually be in that demographic and in that avatar space. If you just get Mike Tyson, or if you get Snoop Dogg, if you get Eminem to do a very random act for a company next to no one has really heard of, or a majority of people would only buy if they're just, family homeowners and have the money to spend and have the patio and the lifestyle for that, it's not going to correlate well. Because now you've put someone into the limelight who is known by everybody to market a product that not everybody's going to care about. If you put him in front of an audience where they're going to promote a product the majority of people won't have a necessity for, then naturally, while your brand awareness will increase, no one's going to buy that because we don't have a need for that. Which is why it's very important. Know your audience, know how to allocate your funding correctly, and most importantly, know how to be effectively creative. This is why you shouldn't take non-marketers or people that have just a very weird perception of Gen Z, or how young people think, or how the common trends are in this day and age and how they think will work. Don't feed in to that natural bias in the thing. Just because you have Snoop Dogg is going to correlate to big sales now. That's not how that works. That's the exact same comparison where you have that random cameo in a very big Marvel movie and you try to promote that, and in truth their role in that movie was next to nothing. It's like putting it was like, for example, I don't know if anyone has seen WandaVision, but it's like when they put Quicksilver from X-Men Days of Future Past and they cameoed him. They hinted that he was going to be in WandaVision, only for him to have a minimal role that led to nothing and meant nothing. That's what that is like. It's when you advertise, and it's when you start edging on not only your consumer base, but just a large audience in general, and you have an anticlimactic ending. And now you lose money, and now the backlash on that is critical. Now you have to replace your CEO. Now you have to go into, the following year having to really update your brand and have to work on your PR and really reestablish yourself once again. Go back to the drawing board. So if there's anything to take from this, and if there's anything to take from Solo's failure, is to understand your market. really do research. Like, don't just go for what's trendy and fail to capitalize on it. Go for what works for you. What works in your character and your niche. Now, if you want to know more about how to actively, truly and effectively market your brand and your product, stay tuned, subscribe, follow us on social media, because we give tidbits on how to actually market products and know your brand from expertise levels. Been Ghostface Paris, and I'm out. And then next time I'm here, I'm gonna have an intro.